let's move on to Chapter 6. So, Chapter 6. You won't need anything from the store. You'll probably have a little less than what I have right now. I have 35,000. You'll probably have about 30,000, 31,000. You shouldn't need any boomerangs at this point. You shouldn't need any bombs. You don't need any moves. I do not recommend buying Mach 3 yet. I would hold off on that until afterwards. There is a reason for that. But this is the boss rush chapter. So, the strategies are actually just about the same. They're not too different. There are some slight modifications to them. Charles in particular is one of them. Hulk Davidson's about the same. Gran Bruce is significantly different. Gran Bruce is very aggressive. Another Joe's the same. And then Fire Leo is going to be the one that's going to be interesting, I think. So, we'll dive right into it. Okay. Alright, let's get started.
Let's get it on.
Charles III. So, you guys know he's a joke of a boss for kids mode, of course. For this first section, it's just Mach speed your way up there. So 1, 2, 1, 2, slide, 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 and we're good. We start Charles III. So, the thing about Charles, if you're not quick enough, this is a case where you have to understand how to do fast boomerangs. If you cannot do fast boomerangs, you will not be able to take him down in 3. It will take at least 4 or 5. So, and you lose a cycle of time from doing so. So let's do this. I could show you the first method, the fast boomerang way, and I'll show you what happens if you don't get it. So let's dive into it. That's the fast boomerang way. That's taking him down. That's throwing 3 boomerangs in a very short period of time. Okay? Now let's restart. Let's pull up Chapter 6. And I'll show you what happens if you do not pull out boomerangs in time. Let's say you don't quite have a grasp on fast boomerangs at this point. Okay? So it's a little bit slower. So you're going to have to wait for him to actually rise back up in the air. You have to knock him down again, and then throw another boomerang to finish him off. So it's a little bit slower to do it that way. Fast booms, you just pound the damage right into him really quickly. So just keep that in mind. 2 methods to take down Charles. For Hulk Davidson, now what I'm going to do is, when this fight starts, he actually jumps pretty much immediately at you. To prevent him from jumping, I'm going to slide forward twice. I'm going to Mach run just a little bit over to the right, and I'm going to throw a boomerang behind me. And once the boomerang is circling on its way back, it's going to hit him just as the fight starts up. So it's going to stun him in place. While it's stunning him, I'm going to get into position and just start spamming boomerangs at him. So I'll show you. Now I'm in place, and now fast boomerangs or slow boomerangs, whatever works for you. Just as effective. Hulk Davidson. So he's easy. Now for Gran Bruce, there are a couple ways to do this. The first way to do it, I would recommend going back and watching the 3-2 tutorial for taking down Gran Bruce. It's the same thing. So it's going to be 7 punches, boomerang, 7 punches, boomerang, and then punch him until he dies. That's it. For this case, what we're going to do is something way more aggressive. So the moment the fight starts, I'm going to pull out a boomerang, and as he's landing, the boomerang is going to curve back. It's going to hit him while I'm punching him. After the 7th punch, I'm going to turn around, throw a boomerang again, But instead of punching normally, I'm going to jump up in the air and go for 2 red-hot kicks. All in the meantime, I need juice to fall out of Gran Bruce, so I need to pick up VFX juice from him. If I could pick up that juice, I'm going to wait until he hits me with his rotor. I'm going to intentionally dodge him, and that'll give me 3 seconds of invulnerability, okay? You following me? Follow me, stick with me here. Once I have the 3 seconds of invulnerability, I'm actually going to pull out with zoom and slow. I'm not going to hold anything, let my VFX charge a little bit. And then the moment I have a little bit of VFX left, using that invincibility that I have, I'm going to go back in and start using the task strategy where I zoom and start mashing slow so I can get the most damage out of it in the shortest period of time. So, yeah, you know, that's the other method to do it. That is much faster. That is tested. I think that's about 5 or 6 seconds faster. It is also execution heavy. So what we'll do is we'll do it right now. So boomerang. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Turn around boomerang. Jump. Red hot kick. 1, 2. There's the juice. 4, 5, 6. And there you go. So you need to get both sets of VFX juice that pops out of Gran Bruce, or you cannot actually do that. You will not have enough VFX for the slow dodge. If you get knocked out of a slow dodge and you get forced into play as normal Joe, don't panic. You still have 3 seconds of invulnerability. So when he turns around, you could just punch him as normal Joe to stun him. And the moment you get Viewtiful Joe again, slow zoom and finish him off. So there is a recovery for it. It's not quite, it's a little bit slower, but you could pull it off. So that's, again, that's a very, very aggressive strategy. So, but regardless, for another Joe, there really isn't anything special to him. We're just going to stay in this area. As long as you're in above an electrical floor, Joe will not teleport to the other side of the screen. He won't go away. He'll stay in this area. So that's the AI manipulation for this fight. He will always stay in this particular area. If you're in these areas, he'll actually teleport all over the place. So it's kind of, you know, it is what it is. I would highly recommend staying in an area above an electrical floor, because he'll track you. Now, for this fight, when you start, if you run all the way to the left, what'll end up happening is, and yes, I see that my camera's blurring, I do apologize, it's being silly, it seems. Camera, please. Oh well, deal with it, you'll need to see my face. What'll end up happening is another Joe will spawn on the complete opposite side of the level, alright? If that happens, you have no control over where he's going, you don't know where he's going to teleport, and that's bad. You do not want that to happen. So, what we're going to do is we're going to go to the right, we're going to meet him on the right-hand side, and then he'll teleport within, you know, that short area. So we'll keep him in this area, the electrical floor. So that's about it. I mean, there's really nothing else to another Joe. If you keep pressure on him, he goes down. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're gonna move over here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You see a pattern? Okay. So I hit him there, so he's going to spin. 5 hits, and we'll finish him. And that's it. Another Joe is... he's a piece of cake, really, to be quite honest with you. There's nothing special to him. So... oh, Fire Leo. Oh my gosh. Where do I even begin with this? Okay. Fire Leo is a special case. This boss fight is tricky. and it's going to be tricky to explain. I'm going to try to take it piece by piece here. I don't know how it's going to go because I'm not used to pausing mid-fight, but I'll do the best I can. What we have to do, we have to knock out his fire aura first. This is the one cycle. This is it's a luck-based trick, and it's a pretty difficult trick to do as well, especially if you want to knock him out in a single cycle. I'm probably going to end up killing myself quite a bit so I could show you different scenarios for this, but because there's quite a bit that can go wrong in this fight. So the first thing we got to do is get the fire aura. Okay? So we're going to mock speed his rock. And we're going to rush him. We're going to start off with a slow zoom, red hot kick. This does about 90% of a bar by taking out his fire aura. Okay? Now, his shield. One thing to note about Fire Leo's shield. You can either slow zoom red hot 100 his shield 3 times, or you can slow zoom red hot kick it 1 time and it does the same damage. Slow zoom red hot kick is faster. It does more damage in a shorter period of time. Trust me. After I take out his shield, I want to try to hit him at least 4 times before he starts spinning. Sometimes I only get 2 and I have to deal with it, but we'll see. 1, 2. Okay. This is when the fight gets tricky. So, he's going to swing high or low 5 times. Ideally, he's going to swing high as much as possible. What I'm going to start doing is I'm going to uppercut him. And the reason that I'm uppercutting him is that I have to make sure I take his health from this green bar that you see here. I got to do it until I see the light green bar really show up entirely, or I start seeing a little bit of the yellow bar. That's enough damage for me to finish this fight. I have to chip away at him, though, and this is where it gets, like I said, very tricky. Okay, so he went low. Notice what I just did there, okay? I have to break this down piece by piece. While you're uppercutting, an uppercut counts, with Joe at least, an uppercut will count as a low dodge. So you can continuously uppercut him and dodge at the same time. If he attacks low and you're in the middle of an uppercut, once an uppercut connects, or once a hit connects in this game, you can cancel into a different attack or cancel into a jump. In this case, what I do is, the moment I see him attack low, I cancel his uppercut into a slide. And the moment the slide connects, I can actually cancel that into an upward dodge to get the correct dodge that you just saw there. So depending on whether he's attacking high or low, if he's attacking high, you just infinitely uppercut him. If he attacks low, you infinite uppercut, you cancel into slide, and you cancel slide into high dodge. And all in the meantime, I have to watch my VFX bar and make sure I don't lose VFX, and I have to focus on his health bar and make sure I get him down to at least the first portion of yellow. And that's how this fight goes. See if we can get him here. So, in that case, I didn't have enough damage. So, with that little green left, I'll show you what happens. We'll throw a boomerang, we'll jump, red hot kick, 2, 1, 2, 3. So I didn't have enough damage, and I took my time. So unfortunately, he got away. In that case, that was unfortunate luck. I couldn't do much about it. He attacked a lot lower, and he spaced his attacks out in an awkward form. So what you can do to combat that is you can follow up with punching immediately. Unfortunately, he jumped back into the lava, and it's game over. If he jumps back into the lava, that's a 20-second loss. Just like that. And so now he's going to come up. He's going to be super fast. What we can do here is that, and then we finish him off typically. So that's a failed 1 cycle right there. Now actually what I could show you, come to think of it, come here buddy.
sure you flush the toilet.
Let's say that you're doing this fight and you want to try to prevent him from jumping back in the lava. There is a recovery strategy here. So there's the 1 cycle, there's the, we'll say 1 1/3 cycle, the 1 2/3 cycle, and then there's just the 2nd cycle where he jumps back in the lava. You can actually recover by slow dodging or taking a hit. It's up to you. So let's say 1, 2, 3, 4, and then you're just going to slow dodge. And that'll reset the ballerina spin. So you could slow dodge or take a hit, and that'll reset it. You could do it up to 3 times, and after the 3rd time, he'll jump right back into the lava. So you have a little bit of window opportunity there to make up for it. Ideally, that's something you don't want to happen, but I've done it before, and it can work out. So what we're going to do here is we're going to kill myself, and we'll try to do the 1 cycle again. We'll try to do it correctly this time. Unfortunately, this is it's an imperative point in the run, and it occurs very late in the game. It's kind of a bummer, but you got to deal with it. So let's see if we can get it this time. A lot of canceling to do. That might not be enough damage, actually. Yeah. So the other aspect of it, too, is you got to make sure you have the right height. And you got to make sure you attack him pretty much immediately. Because if you don't attack him immediately after you get the opportunity, he'll actually recover. And he'll be able to get away from most of your damage. So again, it's another failed case, unfortunately. Wow, I'm not doing a very good job of showcasing this right now. Well, regardless, let's see if we can finish him here. There we go. 1, 2, 3. So that's how you're supposed to do it. Don't get hit by the fire, obviously. I was making a few too many mistakes there. But the idea, or ideally, you don't get hit by the fire, you get him to start the ballerina spin, and you chip away at him until you see that yellow bar. And that's essentially it. So it really actually isn't as difficult as I made it look just there. But once you understand the mechanics of how different movesets work, I should say. But that's Fire Leo. So if you wanted a better idea of how that fight works, I would check out the current run that I have, the 2734. You could check out the AGDQ run that also is clear as well. But that's the extent of the Magnificent Five. That's Chapter 6. So, yeah.